I'm standing in my mother-in-law's bedroom at 7:30 p.m. My son is sleeping over. He's 4. And I've been asked to go up there and set up the TV, but the TV is old. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I don't want to do this. But I pick up the remote. I try to get the TV working. My son just keeps nagging at me. Dad, 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 dad. And I just want to get the TV started so I can go to bed, go read my book, just get out of the room and let him have his sleepover. I just knew he was getting in the way of my task that I was asked to do. But so I turn to him and I say, what do you want? He's like, I want the remote. I want the remote. I want to push buttons. I said, of course you do, but I need the remote. So I didn't want to give it to him. However, for some reason this night, I decided to be a nice dad and have patience because my son's only been young for so long. And he just wants to push buttons. He's a kid. So I give him the remote. I let him start pushing buttons. I think maybe he never really wanted the TV on. He just wanted to play with the remote. And so he's pushing buttons, seeing what works. Starts with like a number button. Nothing happens. Finds the power button. That's pretty cool. He shuts it off. He kind of likes that. And as he turns the TV back on, he's pushing more buttons. And then he pushes this blue button in the top right that's shaped like a house. And it seems important because it's the opposite of the power button. It's just as big. When he pushes this button, something awesome happens. A DVD shoots out of the side of the TV. I didn't shoot out, but it just pops out. And my son is overwhelmed. A little button that he just pressed just caused something in his physical world to happen. He can't believe it. He's drunk on power. He's so excited. And then I realized, wow, this is really maybe all he wanted to do. This was kind of the thing he was after. He just wanted to explore. He just wanted to play. I'm glad that I listened to him. I had to slow down and listen to what my son wanted. And in doing so, we discovered what was worth doing. It wasn't so much getting the TV set up. It was he wanted to explore. And then we had this beautiful moment where he just happened to hit the eject button, found out what that did. And so we shared that together and he learned something from it. Time is your most precious resource. You know this. But there's a lot you want to do. So how do you figure out where to invest your time? What projects are worth doing? I use this 3-step framework that I've been calling the listen, do, share framework. And this is a flywheel that you can use to slowly test out, validate things to see if it's worth you putting more time in to actually go do something. It's 3 steps that feed into each other. It creates this flywheel effect where as you listen to yourself or you listen to what other people are saying or what customers or stakeholders, you listen to what they want, what they're asking from you. But you don't just listen to their request. You think about what's the meaning behind their ask. What do they want to really get at? What are they trying to do if you're thinking about yourself? What is the motivation here for me building this thing? What is it about this activity that I find interesting? Or if it's a customer, what problem do they have? What is the desired outcome? Don't listen to the surface level ask. Try to drill in a little bit and listen to that. And then once you have some sort of signal that you spent a little bit of time thinking about, then you go do. You either go look something up, you go learn, you try something, you build a tiny proof of concept, you make a plan, you talk to ChatGPT or Claude about it, you just collect some more information, you take action with the signal you found. And then once you've taken some action and you've learned something or you've got something to show or you kind of taken that next step in the process successfully, don't keep working. Stop there and then share that. Share that back with the customers, share that back with people, put it on social media, talk to colleagues, talk to friends and family, send people an email, DM, whatever. Just share that first step you've got to start the cycle again. And then listen to what people tell you. The worst thing you can do is spend all your time working on something that you think people are going to love, and then you find out nobody was asking for that or they don't care. A friend of mine recently asked me about how would you pick what startup to work for if it was like a pre-seed, early stage startup. What would you need to know before you wanted to work there? I would need to believe in the product, that there's a path for this product to actually be valuable for people. I would need to really trust the founders, especially if you're starting that early. And most importantly, I'd be asking, before they started building this idea or seeking venture capital, did they validate that anybody was asking them to build it? You shouldn't start a business unless you have people like lining up to say, give me this, we want this. You need to test the demand first. And there's a lot of cheap, easy, quick, inexpensive, effective ways to validate ideas before you spend so much of your precious time going off and building a product or writing a book. Now, you don't always need external validation. If it's something you really enjoy, something you like doing, that's good enough. Go ahead and keep working on that thing. Go ahead and keep doing that activity. But you would have had listened to yourself to figure out like, okay, I like doing this. That's good enough for me. So you paid attention to that signal and you're following up on that. If it's something you're looking to monetize or start a business around, you need to validate that people want that. And with the internet, you can do that so effectively. You can get on Reddit and just ask questions. You can make a landing page and try to redirect people there to see if they'll sign up. I use this approach at work and I use this approach at life. Before I start diving into something and putting a lot of time in, I try to validate it on some level. And this flywheel, you start small. Like that first time you're listening and the first step that you go do, make it tiny. Just something to give you more information, and don't get stuck in that analysis paralysis kind of thinking where you're just wondering, oh, is this going to work? Is this going to work? And you're planning, thinking, looking for the right opportunity, trying to make it perfect. Just take a sliver of a signal and go act on it. You want to default to getting to the do stage as quickly as possible, but you don't want the do stage to be something that's going to be a multi-month, multi-year plan off of one teeny piece of signal and not shared along the way. You need to do these tiny chunks, these tiny bite-sized iterations through this listen, do, share loop, and keep iterating. And as it gets better, as you get more signal, as you get more feedback, you expand the loop, you invest more time, more energy. At work, the way this manifests is what starts as maybe just a quick spike turns into a team project and maybe even a multi-team, multi-department project, because now it's in OKRs. Now you got a lot of people working on the project. All right, so to recap, whether you're working on a project for yourself or something at work, try the listen, do, share approach, where you listen to either yourself, what are your internal signals? Like, is this interesting to you? Does it seem fun? Does it click with what you want to do? Are you excited by it? Or are you listening to customers or stakeholders? Is this solving their problem? Is this getting at what they're really asking for you to do? You listen first, then you do. You take some action. You make a tiny bet. You do a small POC. You do some research. You write up some notes. You collect more information. You do something with the signal you obtained by listening. And then you need to share that. You share that back with the stakeholder, the customer, your colleagues. You share it with friends and family. You share it with yourself, or you talk to AI about it. You get some sort of signal working with what you just did, because now you have new information. Now you have a bit of experience. Now you start that flywheel over again. You share it, you listen again. And then based on that new signal, you either invest more time, you take more action, you go bigger, you expand what you're doing, or you hone in on what's working. And you're constantly doing this, listen for signal, seek validation, and again, validation internally or externally. It's okay to just do stuff because you want to do them. It's okay to just do things because you're interested or because you're learning. This doesn't have to mean external validation because somebody is asking you to do it or is interested or will pay money for it. You can just do stuff because you want to. But listen to yourself though, and spend some time thinking about, what am I interested in? Why am I interested in that? And then start going down that path. And it's okay to pivot and reflect. So when you're working on something yourself, that share step could be sharing with yourself, like reflecting. What is it that I find interesting here? And so you do this listen, do, share cycle over and over again in expanding waves on a project until you're done or until you find something else you want to work on. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate that. You're one of my people. I hope to make more useful stuff for you. Any sort of feedback, if this was interesting, if you thought it was stupid, if it doesn't work for you, or if you do some variation of this on your own already, please comment and let me know. The feedback I get from these things are so motivating and so interesting and so useful. So I want to hear from you. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.